there! Welcome to Apple World. Pa has said a final farewell to her man or ex-man. I ought to say Sela, and you understand what she's being proactive about, since think about who she wound up with on a night out. Really? She was with a gathering of companions, so she wound up with Joshua Jackson, who is known for getting a separation himself, so he was my companion. It's difficult to think about him previously yet. However, I really do be aware for sure that he would believe we should do this. Listen, not Lateo. His ex uncovering her for being both a miscreant and a homewrecker. Currently word on the roads is that Lupita Nyongo may hop into some significant show on the grounds that as talk has is she's getting sort of comfortable with entertainer Joshua Jackson. Now Josh has got legal documents from his better half Jodie Turner-Smith, and it's beginning to feel like a bit of warmth triangle, particularly in light of the fact that Lupita's ex is currently blaming her for undermining him and separating Joshua's marriage. Goodness, was Lupita Nyong'o truly having an unsanctioned romance with Joshua? While he was hitched, Nyong'o and Joshua Jackson were as of late spotted at a Janelle Monáe show. As you most likely are aware, she has of late parted with her beau, and he has parted with his better half Jodie Turner-Smith. Not saying there is a couple, but rather Joshua Jackson certainly has a tip. Now everyone knows the truism of closing your legs to men, so I know that sovereign Lupita Nyong'o being a home racer sounds pretty fantastic. Yet hello, this is 20,203, and this year has been brimming with shocks. Currently, on the off chance that you're pondering, didn't Lupita have a man? Well, yes, she did, or possibly she used to, since it seems like that part may be shut for good. Now Lupita and her man Salma Masela were together 2 or 3 years, and despite the fact that they kept the relationship low-key, they actually made a charming couple, and it seemed as though they cherished each other, especially now, as per CMA they initially met in 2016 on a flight. Furthermore, he was somewhat anxious to address her since, well, she's Lupita Nyong'o, and she's no joking matter in Hollywood now. At the time, he tweeted speculatively talking about course, suppose you're situated behind Lupita Nyong'o on a plane. What might your initial line be? Anybody thinks of the great opener for me with Lupita Nyong'o, send them, cuz I'm truly sitting right behind her on this flight. He accomplished figure out how to summon the courage to converse with her, and they hit it off promptly. Now, while they hit it off immediately, they traded a few contacts on the plane, and the two of them stayed in contact with one another, and things turned heartfelt later. At some point, she chose to open up to the world about the relationship in December by making a charming TikTok video of her and Salma, and adorable matching outfits. Forever be them. No power D in the A sooner than later. Now this video was adorable, and everything except it likewise caused a stir. I mean, Lupita is a super Hollywood star, and people were normally wary of contemplating whether Salma was simply attempting to capitalize on her notoriety and cash, and fans were contemplating whether he was only a client. Incidentally, that wasn't true at all, since he's finding real success. He's a television have and a games pundit with a really great history, having worked for enormous names like ESPN, NBC, and NBC Sports. In addition to his father is, as a matter of fact, the South African jazz legend Hugh Mazella, so he plainly wasn't involving Lupita for cash or clout. In any case, it was clear inevitably that he and Lupita were wildly enamored. She began spouting about their relationship more and more in broad daylight, posting charming pics of them together and going wild over about their affection. Yet the thing is, assuming they separated, it probably been something late, because only half a month prior they appeared to be absolutely stricken with one another still, or possibly that is the manner by which it appeared to us. It was Salma's birthday under 2 months prior, and Lupita made a post about him saying, and afterward, the universe saw it fit to bring this daylight human into my circle, and this day denotes first experience with life consistently, is loaded with great energy and motivations to hit the dance floor with Salma as my #1 close companion. Blissful birthday, Mamor. However, it wasn't just about these arming virtual entertainment posts. It appeared as though they were genuinely dedicated to one another. I mean, most couples, when they're serious, could lease a condo together and make that stride, yet these two were on one more level. Thanks to their abundant resources, they went ahead and dropped it astounding $4 million on a manor in LA. Definitely that is some genuine responsibility, not too far off. However, that is not all, since insiders let the cat out of the bag that Lupita and Salma had a few ventures integrated up, so they weren't simply playing house, they were making arrangements for the long run. Yet here's where the situation starts to get interesting. Prepare your teacups. Out of nowhere, pictures of Lupita and entertainer Joshua Jackson went viral. They were spotted at a Janelle Monáe show, and individuals at the show couldn't quit discussing how comfortable they looked. People who were there guaranteed they were unbelievably close, like personally close, couldn't keep their hands off one another nearby, and obviously, it had individuals pondering that it was somewhat unusual on the grounds that the prospect of Joshua and Lita together is irregular, as what's significantly more stunning is the timing. It's scarcely been a hot moment since Joshua's better half, Jodie Turner-Smith, dropped a separation bomb. They've been hitched for a couple of years, and despite the fact that fans thought their relationship was a bit bizarre, they appeared to have it together up until the separation. Well, one way or another, it was really clear that Josh wasn't as stricken with Josh as she was with him. I mean, she was the one doing all the pursuing, and she even asked about tying the knot. Now, I know that the last part stung a little since he conceded that he felt the sort of way about her asking about getting married since it caused him to feel undermined. He even conceded this expression. I would like the amazing chance to rest, however, to you, and do it the old-style way down, acting with great humility. Currently recall how I referenced Joshua not being all around as committed as Jodie. Well, he was hit with deceiving claims more than once as well as numerous times, and we're not discussing simply murders and tales. There were real pictures of him locking lips with different ladies that became a web sensation last year, yet to exacerbate the situation, this embarrassment hit the news up. Only 2 or 3 days after Jod tossed him his lavish 41st birthday identification of that is miserable, right? So when I said his obligation to Jodie was essentially non-existent, I implied that truly in addition to there's the way that Jodie petitioned for legal separation from him, yet he doesn't appear to be too wounded by the separation, despite the fact that they have a kid together. He even made an announcement about how he was harmed, yet he was able to acknowledge the separation and yakety yake. The assertion said he would have really wanted to, in any case, be with Jod ideally. However, since they must this spot, he must acknowledge it. Joshua isn't excited about it yet, as we as a whole realize life doesn't necessarily resolve the manner in which you'd like it to figure out. Definitely, so it's not giving he's losing anyone's rest over this separation yet. That is not all, since Joshua is additionally known to be extremely apathetic regarding disloyalty. In one meeting, he said, I figure an undertaking King can be pardoned. All of us are adults. Nobody needs to be undermined, and there is enormous fix to be done. Issues aren't about the accomplice, they're about the individual who has violated. It's not simply about the SE, there's a more profound so. When you add this reality up to the way that he appears to have continued on rapidly from his separation, it had individuals contemplating whether he and Lita have depended on a few tricky connections in the background, and it appears as though this is the reason Jod document for separate from him now. This had individuals asking why Lita would undermine Selma like this. She got a lot of smoke for this to such an extent that she at last uncovered that she and Selma had separated. She made a long post on Instagram saying, right now it is important for me to share an individual truth, furthermore, openly disassociate myself from somebody I can never again believe. I wind up in a time of shock due to an affection out of nowhere and devastatingly doused that trickiness. Yet she didn't stop there, since she likewise proceeded to say, I'm deciding to confront the aggravation, developing the fortitude to meet my life precisely for what it's worth, furthermore, believing that everything good or bad must come to an end. The commitment, they say, is that a delicate heart brings forth boldness. I trust it's actual. I share this to keep it one chaste and trusting that the information on my experience may be valuable to another person out there, encountering the hold of deplorability, who is ready to attempt also escape from the aggravation and pass up the insight that comes from it. Well, since Lita and Selma tapped out, she's allowed to explore her own way in the dating scene. However, the thing is, fans are somewhat suspicious over the planning of this, and they're presently contemplating whether there was something entirely to this.